In this video, we're playing some spicy cards today. The One Ring and Detection Tower. This list is hot. Let's go check it out. I love today's deck list, and thank you to Tyler Carden for supporting the channel with today's donation deck. I actually worked on this list with Tyler to come up with some of the thoughts behind the list. So I played a lot of Beseech the Mirror lists on the channel recently, and I haven't loved them. Urza Saga hasn't felt good, and Ad Nauseam has just been so stinky. Today, we're not playing either of those cards, and instead, we are playing the One Ring. Well, what does the One Ring do inside of this Beseech the Mirror Storm shell? It kind of provides you a pivot plan. So the Epic Storm has Song of Creation. The One Ring is that for this, Sultai colored list. Also, it sort of fills the role of Galvanic Relay, providing you with long-term card advantage and grinding down those blue decks. So I think the One Ring, it could be pretty good here. It also, obviously, if you're unfamiliar, you can play it for free off of Beseech the Mirror as long as you've bargained. So your primary win is still Gaea's Will, playing a couple copies of Dark Ritual, Beseech the Mirror again, and then Tendrils of Agony. But you do have this One Ring engine if you're looking to avoid the graveyard. And, well, it's just really difficult to answer in Legacy as well. You can protect it using Thoughtseize or Veil of Summer. Veil of Summer also protects you from Orcish Bowmasters when you're drawing cards with the One Ring, which is really nice. In the sideboard, we have Detection Tower. This is to beat opposing copies of Veil of Summer. With the Beanstalk decks picking up and primarily moving over to the Sultai list, we've seen more Veil of Summer in the format, and you kind of need an answer to it. So in this more traditional Storm-based shell, we're playing Detection Tower today. I'm interested to see how this pans out. And then we have 2 copies of Grafdigger's Cage. If you're unfamiliar, this means that you can't cast spells from your library, which means Gaea's Will. However, you are playing Beseech the Mirror, which has the clause Bargain. So you can actually sacrifice your Grafdigger's Cage when you're ready to win, and then, put Gaea's Will on the stack or whatever. So it's good against Reanimator, and you get to get rid of it when you need to, which I think is just really beautiful in this deck list. But that's all I've got for the deck tech. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions, suggestions, whatever, put those down below. I'd love to hear from you. But for now, we're going to hop on into the first match. I know that I'll see you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicstorm.com/shop or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Welcome to the first match. We're on the draw. We've opened up a pretty darn good hand. We have turn 1 Thoughtseize and to potentially turn 2 the One Ring or even a Beseech the Mirror win. Bloodstained Mire. This could be Rakdos Reanimator. It is not. Volcanic Island into Sleep Cursed Fairy. Okay, you got it. We'll draw for turn. Beseech the Mirror. Okay. So I think we're going to pivot game plans a little bit. I'm going to play out this Chrome Mox, imprint the Infernal Tutor. I might have actually just messed up. I think I was actually supposed to imprint the Beseech. Yeah, I think I just gave away a win here. I think I had a win and I just punted. So if you imprint the Beseech, you can go Dark Ritual, Lion's Eye Diamond, Infernal Tutor, get Beseech the Mirror into Gaea's Will, Lion's Eye Diamond, Dark Ritual, Infernal Tutor for another Lion's Eye Diamond, play the Chrome Mox, Beseech the Mirror, Tendrils of Agony. Yeah, I just missed a protected turn 1 win. Unfortunate. Looks like we have a turn 2 win, though. I will keep this. Pass the turn. Match 1, game 1, misplaying on the first turn. Yikes. They play the Dragon's Rage Channeler and a Stalker, so they're not actually interested in playing Ponder here. Interesting. Okay. So we'll play our land. We know that the last card in their hand is Ponder. Dark Ritual. Lion's Eye Diamond. We will bargain, sacrificing the Chrome Mox. Dead 3 black. Grab Gaea's Will. Play the Gaea's Will. And our opponent concedes. So this should have been a turn 1 with Thoughtseize, but I messed up, so that's my own fault. But we did get the turn 2. Let's play a little bit better in these post-board games. So I am definitely interested in Carpet of Flowers. Those are a pretty easy swap with Cabal Ritual, so we'll take those out. I like Beseiju versus Delver strategies because it's good against Null Rod, and we care about that. So we're going to board in that. And you probably want Empty in this matchup as well. We're at 63. What are you going to take out? So I'm not a huge fan of Vault of Whispers. You could board that out. I also think it's pretty reasonable to side out Chromox when you're bringing in Carpet of Flowers because your bargain count remains the same. So it's Vault of Whispers versus the last Chromox in my eyes here. And I think I'd prefer to side out the Vault of Whispers. Let's try this. We have a turn 2 the One Ring, but we don't have any protection yet. That said, we do have 4 lands versus the Wasteland strategy with Daze, so I'm definitely interested in keeping this. Our opponent takes a mulligan to 6, included Delta, into a Stalker. It will gain the +1/+1 counter. Veil of Summer, I love that. Play the Misty Rainforest, and we can pass the turn. Thoughtseize, huh? I wasn't really expecting that in this matchup. Most Grixis Delver decks don't play Thoughtseize. We will grab Tropical Island and attempt Veil of Summer. They have the Daze to back it up. That's not good for me. Okay, let's see what they decide to discard with Thoughtseize. They do take the One Ring. They attack for 2, I go to 17. They have 3 cards left in their hand. Play the Polluted Delta. I'm going to attempt Brainstorm right now when they can't Orcish Bowmasters me. They Fluster Storm. Sure. They're playing a lot of interaction. I'm not going to play around a second copy of Daze here. If they have one, they have one. I need to advance my own game plan. All of these are great. We will keep. We'll draw the Veil of Summer. They do have Wasteland. They go after Underground Sea. They actually know that I have 2 basics in my hand. They should have hit the Tropical Island. We'll play the basic island, pass the turn. They swing for 3, I'll go to 11. Volcanic Island. So their Stalker becomes a 4/4 now. And now we're going to draw the Lion's Eye Diamond. I will cast a Brainstorm. So we're playing it into Orcish Bowmasters, but it doesn't seem like they have anything. We could empty the Warrens here. Would be Storm. So I'd put back Brainstorm and Veil of Summer. And then this would be an empty for 12. I feel like that's probably fine. Let's play the Dark Ritual. We do need this to resolve if we want to win this turn. And then we'll play Thoughtseize. Increasing that storm count for us. I love that. Thoughtseize on the stack. Daze Stifle. Wow. I can't beat that, but what I can do is put the One Ring into play. Wow, they had double answer. That is really unfortunate. Yeah, I think we just have to put the ring into play. Stifle's an odd choice. We'll grab the One Ring, play the One Ring, triggers, and they're going to stifle the protection ability. Okay, so they get to attack for 4 here. I'll go to 5, and if I activate my ring and then pass, I'm dead. So Lion's Eye Diamond was a very good draw. We'll lose 1 going to 4 life. Draw for turn. Brainstorm is good. Draw 2 off of the ring. So I can't cast Beseech the Mirror. I would need a 3rd black mana here. So we're going to cast Brainstorm and hope for the best. I believe that wins. Put back Beseech, put back Infernal Tutor. Play a Lotus Petal. Play Polluted Delta. Lion's Eye Diamond. And now we'll Infernal Tutor. Add 3 black. We'll grab Beseech the Mirror. Cast Beseech the Mirror. We'll bargain away the One Ring. The One Ring is bargain fodder. How good is that? And then we'll Gaia's Will. Play Lion's Eye Diamond. And our opponent concedes. Just like that, we're 1-0. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Heyo, match number 2, we're on the play. Alright, this hand seems delightful, we will keep. We would like to draw a Dark Ritual, but it's hard to complain about this hand, it's just really, really strong. And I like the ability to just leverage the One Ring if I don't feel like going all in on Beseech the Mirror. So Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, those would both be good draws. I'm likely to lead on Misty Rainforest and probably both artifacts. Because I'm looking, our opponent's mulligan to 4. So, I'm not really sure what they're playing, but if they're on a Chalice of the Void deck, I want to get my zeros out before Chalice of the Void comes down. And if they're on like a Death Shadow or something like that, having Lotus Petal in play means that I could pay for days if they Thoughtseize me. And if they're on Reanimator, I don't want to have to sacrifice a Lotus Petal. But ultimately, having these things in play is good. I do lose out on the Storm count, but with Beseech the Mirror and a Gaea's Will, Storm count is not usually the choke point. It looks like we're facing the initiative, and they did have a Chalice of the Void. Okay. So this Veil of Summer is not super useful, but it does beat Chalice of the Void on 0 if we have enough mana. But right now, I don't have that much mana, so that's a concern of mine. There's City of Traders. Alright, we're going to activate this fetch land. Grab the Bayou. The Peacekeeper will resolve. Thankfully, it's not an Archon of Emeria. Interested to see what they name here. Will it be the One Ring, or is it going to be Beseech? Beseech can't actually win yet. I need the Veil of Summer for that. They did name Beseech the Mirror, so they're letting me have the ring. We're going to play the ring here. Yeah, like, so far, the ring has just looked so good. So we gain protection from everything. I'll draw a card. Drawing the Gaea's Will was not ideal. I'm not going to lie to you. That was not a draw we wanted. But we are a deck with 4 copies of Brainstorm in it. So we're going to try to leverage that. They play Cavern of Souls. What just happened? Okay, they just tapped their mana and did nothing. I feel like there was a misclick or something there. We drew Tendrils. Not really a draw that we wanted either. And they just said, oops, misclick. Yeah, I believe that. Our hand doesn't do anything here, so I'm forced to pass the turn. Ancient Tomb, Seasoned Dungeoneer, you got it. So I'm pretty far away from being able to win right now. So we have the issue that our Beseech the Mirror actually costs 6 mana due to Anointed Peacekeeper, and we don't have 6 mana. We can't Gaea's Will because of the Chalice of the Void on 0. Chalice 0 stopping my Lion's Eye Diamond. So we're in a little bit of a pickle, but I do get to draw 4 cards next turn between my draw step plus the One Ring. Vault of Whispers, that was an interesting draw. Let's draw 3 cards. We found the Brainstorm. Let's cast that. We'll play the Brainstorm. We're going to put back this Gaea's Will. And we didn't hit mana. It's actually pretty awkward. Put back the Tropical Island. I can mini Tendrils here. That is something I can do. So I will fetch. Or I believe I can mini Tendrils. Maybe I'm wrong. So Veil of Summer. Draw Mox. I actually don't have the mana to even Tendrils. Am I going to be dead? So this gets +2 next turn. This goes to 5. They attack. I'm going to go to 1. That's assuming they don't have another creature with the initiative. No Dark Rituals. No Cabal Rituals. So I guess I could ponder into one of them. That's probably my out here. Let's ponder. That doesn't do it. I will shuffle. Wow. I'm actually dead to my One Ring. We just drew nothing. We saw 33% of our deck, no Dark Rituals, no Cabal Rituals. Yeah, my One Ring will kill me. Okay, let's go to game number 2. I feel like that game really got away from me. Like, I felt like we were in a commanding position, and then we just didn't draw any of the resources we needed. We'll bring in Beseiju, Abrupt Decay. We want the Dress Downs. I really like Empty in this matchup. So the One Ring, I think, is a card that looked fine in game number 1 because our opponent mulliganed so low, but this isn't really a card we want in the matchup. You can also board out Veil of Summer. Now we're at 61. I think it's the Vault of Whispers. Like, you're already boarding in 2 lands. In general, I'm not a huge fan of the artifact land. So my problem with it is you have no way of tutoring for it, and just drawing it randomly isn't super meaningful. This is pretty good. We'll keep. So if I can ponder into a Dark Ritual, this could be a turn 1 Empty the Warrens for a bunch. I mean, technically it already is. I imprint the Ponder. That's Storm 1. Storm 2 Cabal Ritual. Storm 3 Lotus Petals. Storm 4 Beseech. Storm 5 Empty. So is 10 Goblins on the play good enough? I have 2 more Chromoxes, 3 Lotus Petals, 4 Dark Ritual, 2 Cabal Ritual. And on the play, I don't know. We have 11 hits with 4 possible looks. I think I'm going to ponder. And we were rewarded. I'll keep the Lotus Petal. Play Lotus Petal. Play Lotus Petal. Chrome Mox. Imprint the Ponder. Cabal Ritual. And now I will Beseech the Mirror. Sacrifice the Chrome Mox. We'll grab Empty the Warrens. Play the Empty. 14 Goblins on the play should definitely be enough. You don't have to worry about Fury or Solitude or any of those sort of things. Solitude, mostly if they accelerate into it. It exiling a creature doesn't really matter that much, but we have stolen game number 2 on the play. Now we're on the draw. And I don't think I'm going to change anything. Let's just hit that submit button one more time. Pretty good hand. We don't have an answer to Chalice of the Void or Archon of Emeria, but I don't think you're actually allowed to mulligan this. Opponent keeping 7 is very scary. Okay, 3 mana. They're making red. Magus of the Moon. Okay. We can beat this. Drawing another land was not what I needed. I'm going to sit on the Lotus Petal. So the fear is Chalice of the Void, but I think this could end up being a game where Storm Count matters. So I don't want to play out the Lotus Petal. And it looks like they have another creature. 4th Aerlingus for 1. Lion's Eye Diamond off the top would be my best draw. Okay. They get the draw card here for the Monarch. We'll draw for turn. Land number 4. Lovely. Pass. Infernal Tutor not able to do anything. If this was a Beseech the Mirror, we could do something here. But Infernal Tutor requiring Hellbent, not good. So I'm going to take 4. I'll drop down to 12 life. And there you draw a card and pass. They have 4 cards remaining in hand. We draw a Ponder. So I could Ponder into a Diamond. That could be something we do here. We still have Chrome Mox as our black mana. Let's play the Ponder. Storm 2. This is not going to get the job done. We will shuffle. Another Lotus Petal. I have to pass. Another red land. So it looks like they're stuck on colors at the moment. Their own Magus is holding them back. I'm at 8 life. Land number 5. You got to be kidding me. Okay, we can't get Hellbent. Am I dead? Nullrod. Well, that could be game. I'm not going to be able to beat this. Unfortunate. This deck has so many lands. Yeah, we have no... I'm pretty sure we're just determined. Like, I could draw empty here. Yeah. I'm trying to think of, like, if I had drawn this last turn, I think that's game, but it doesn't matter. We're just dead here. Yeah, nothing really to say. Game 1, our deck kind of failed us. Game 2, we got flooded. One of the downsides of playing a deck like Beseech Storm is a lot of the players like a bunch of lands in their deck list, and well, it's not always free, especially when you play Infernal Tutor. We are now 1-1. There's still 3 matches left. Let's just try to win those. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Let's try to correct what happened last round. We're on the draw. I will try this hand. Chrome Mox, okay. And Prince Beseech the Mirror. Thoughtseize. Looks like we might be playing a mirror match of sorts. They discard my Dark Ritual. They play an Urza's Saga. Okay, so this is Black Saga Storm most likely. We find Ponder. I think we should probably just pass here and hold open the Veil of Summer. Urza's Saga goes to the second chapter. They play a City of Traders, Urza's Bauble. It is confirmed Black Saga Storm. They play a Wishclaw Talisman. Okay. I'm just going to draw for turn. There's no reason to end step a Brainstorm. I want the ability to find the maximum number of cards. And they revealed the one card that they didn't know about off the Urza's Bauble. They saw my Ponder. I will cast a Brainstorm. Definitely putting back this guy as well. And then we can put back the spare copy of Beseech the Mirror. I'm choosing to keep this Polluted Delta open for Veil of Summer. So most lists don't play a main deck Pithing Needle, but it's kind of free for me to fetch here. They tap the Saga for a block. We will grab a Bayou. By grabbing Bayou, I have 1 black source, 2 black source, 3 black sources for Beseech the Mirror, which means even if I Veil of Summer and cycle and draw a dud, something that's not useful, I could still imprint Ponder and cast Beseech next turn. They pick up a copy of Lion's Eye Diamond, Chrome Mox, imprints Duress. They activate the Wishclaw Talisman, and they play an Ad Nauseam, sure. They are now revealing a ton of cards. I don't believe that Black Saga Storm can beat a Veil of Summer. Oh, they have a Burning Wish. Maybe they can. I don't remember them playing a Grape Shot, but people can play different lists. Not everyone plays stock lists. Like, I know that Tony, who streams on this very YouTube channel, is not a fan of Beseech the Mirror in Black Saga Storm. However, our opponent is playing Beseech the Mirror. You can do different things. That's absolutely fine. And Burning Wish used to be in Black Saga Storm during the early days, but I don't remember there being a Grape Shot. I remember there being an Empty the Warrens and a Peer into the Abyss, but I don't remember a Grape Shot. I'm going to save myself some time here. I'm going to cast the Veil of Summer, and then we can allow our opponent to do their thing. So they play another land, they play a Lotus Petal, Lion's Eye Diamond, a Mishra's Bauble, Lotus Petal. They're just casting spell after spell at this point. I'm going to quit narrating it because I kind of don't want to, so we'll see what their final board ends up being like. Turn 21, our opponent has played a Burning Wish, and they do have a Grape Shot. Okay, so our Veil of Summer was not good enough, and we can go ahead and head to the next game. So we now know that we cannot hide behind Veil of Summer. Flusterstorm seems like a card we're definitely interested in. The One Ring is pretty good against them, though, so I don't think I actually want to take out the One Ring. I do think basic lands matter less in this matchup, so I'm down to board out the basic island. And maybe we'll board out 1 copy of the One Ring. On the play. Don't think I'm allowed to keep this hand. We will send it back. This hand was close, but we're going to 5. We will put a Chrome Mox on the bottom and the spare land. Our opponent kept 7. That's not great for us, but we're going to try to claw our way back in. Thoughtseize. Well, we'll take their Thoughtseize. I think I need my Ponder if we're going to be able to win this game. We kind of just have to hope that they fail to do anything meaningful. They play a Mishra's Bauble, 1 Vault of Whispers, and the Lotus Petal. We know that their draw step was Mox Opal here. We know the remaining 3 cards in their hand. They see my top card. It's a Chrome Mox, not ideal. Play a Ponder. This is good. We'll keep Dark Ritual. Play the land and pass the turn. We're looking at a win next turn on a mulligan to 5. Duress. They take the Dark Ritual, they play a Lotus Petal. So we know that they're stuck with 2 Dark Rituals in their hand. We'll draw the Beseech the Mirror. We have a Tropical Island as our next card. So Tropical Island would allow me to cast Beseech the Mirror, but Gaia's Will doesn't win. So am I getting the One Ring? I think so. We'll play Chrome Mox, imprint, and now we'll fetch, grab the Bayou, and then we will Beseech, sacrifice the Chrome Mox. So you might be saying, Bryant, Gaia's Will, you have it. So the plan with Gaia's Will would be to replay Chrome Mox, and I have no card to imprint, and I've already played my land for the turn. So instead I'm going to grab the One Ring, and hopefully this allows us enough resources to win the game. I'll just draw the card now. We draw Chrome Mox, not great. But next turn, I get a draw step plus 2 cards, so all of a sudden we have 4 cards in hand. So I'll lose 1, draw for turn. Now we'll draw 2 more. Let's brainstorm. So if I put back Veil of Summer, Chrome Mox, I can make 3 mana. That's not good enough. We'll put back these 2, play our land, pass the turn. It looks like our opponent still can't do anything. We will fetch, grab an Underground Sea. We'll lose 2 life, draw for turn. The swamp. Let's activate the One Ring and draw 3. This should be able to win. So let's Infernal Tutor, reveal a Lotus Petal, play Lotus Petal, play Lotus Petal, and now I will Beseech the Mirror, and I'll float a blue off this Lotus Petal in case I need Flusterstorm. And we will sacrifice the One Ring, go grab Gaia's Will, play the Gaia's Will, turn 5, Lotus Petal, and our opponent concedes. We got away with one. The mulligan to 5 got there. So one of the downsides of playing a deck like Black Saga Storm is that Mishra's Baubles and Urza's Baubles aren't as effective as Ponder and Brainstorm with finding your payoff cards. And our opponent had the win all that game, but could not find Infernal Tutor or Burning Wish or Ad Nauseam or Beseech the Mirror, and sometimes that just happens. We're going to try for some luck game 3 on the draw against Black Saga Storm. We are not allowed to keep this hand. We will mulligan. Our opponent is also mulliganed. We're going to keep this and put Brainstorm on the bottom. Our opponent has kept 6. They have a Vault of Whispers and a Duress. Interested to see what they take here. I think this is actually a pretty interesting decision. If you take Lotus Petal, I can't actually cast Flusterstorm or Ponder. And if you take the Thoughtseize like our opponent did, I'm not really allowed to use this Lotus Petal. So it's interesting. We drew another Thoughtseize. You know, there's a joke here about Thoughtseize Bug, but they played Duress. Let's take their Wish Claw, leaving them with a Surgical Extraction and a City of Traders. Should I use the Surgical on my draw step? Clearly. Alright, we'll play out the Lotus Petal. Pass the turn. Another copy of Duress. I'm not going to... Like, that's fine. You could Flusterstorm it, but I think that would be a not great move. Dark Ritual. And they decide to exile my Infernal Tutors. I will pass. They have 1 random card in their hand. We drew our blue source, so now we're going to start to pull ahead because we have the power of Ponder on our side. Channeling my inner Bashan roll. Okay, I think I'm actually going to keep this, and we'll draw the Dark Ritual here. And then next turn I can Ponder looking for Beseech the Mirror. And if I find Beseech the Mirror, we just have a win. Our opponent draws and passes. We will Ponder. What about a One Ring? I think I'm down for a One Ring here. Our top card should be the Polluted Delta. So I shouldn't have to... I mean, technically, I probably won't need to use the Flusterstorm, but anyway, this is what I'm doing. Basically, the way that I sequenced this is I didn't have to use the second copy of Dark Ritual. They play in Urza's Saga, their City of Traders goes away. I don't want to draw a Lotus Petal, so I'm going to fetch in my upkeep. We'll grab another copy of Underground Sea. We lose a life. Lion's Eye Diamond. Draw Tendrils. Let's Brainstorm. Not the best, but that's okay. Play the Polluted Delta. I'll fetch again. Grab Tropical. Brainstorm. Okay, it looks like we have to pass the turn. First, the Saga goes to the second chapter. Duress. I will Flusterstorm this. We will untap, I'll lose life, and they're just going to concede. So we were going to draw Brainstorm. I was going to fetch and then activate the One Ring and then cast Brainstorm. So we were going to see a lot of cards here. But our opponent decided that they had enough. The One Ring allowed us to pull ahead in the combo mirror. We are now 2-1, 2 matches left to go. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. Match number 4. We're facing the legend, Dan Neely, Maverick Extraordinaire. And we've opened up a 4-lander. I don't think that this hand is going to be good enough in this specific matchup. Well, we have a turn 1 if I bottom the One Ring. I am interested in turn 1 wins. So we'll put the One Ring on the bottom. This feels like a real, like, 2018 The Epic Storm hand. Imprint this Ponder. Lion's Eye Diamond. Lion's Eye Diamond. Infernal Tutor. Storm 4. We will add black. Black. What? Forcible pitching Murktide Regent. Dan Neely. What have you done? Wow. I've been betrayed into Ponder. Okay. So at this point, I've realistically lost this game, and we're just going to keep on playing for information. They did not shuffle on Ponder. Dark Ritual is a good draw. Misty Rainforest. Tropical Island. Oh, it's the Sultai Beanstalk deck. Okay. You draw a Lotus Petal. I'm just going to have to pass here. Another copy of Up the Beanstalk. There's 3 more copies of Force of Will left in the deck. If I can draw Beseech the Mirror, we're actually still in this. Ding! Alright, Dan. Do you have 2? We could beat a copy of Days here. Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing Chrome Mox? Come on, Dan. Say that there's a chance. Don't do it to me. Ah, the second Force of Will. And this draws 2 cards. Dan Neely, you have betrayed Maverick and your soul. Alright, we'll go to game number 2. I mean, I had 2 win attempts this game. That was pretty good, but ultimately not good enough. Alright, so we are facing a deck with Veil of Summer, so we probably want this Deflection Tower, or Detection Tower, forgive me. Our opponent's deck has Stifle in it. I feel like Empty does help against the Veil of Summer if I can't Detection Tower. I also feel like Stifle might be decent. We probably want the Carpets. I am less interested in Chrome Mox and Cabal Ritual. It leaves me at 61. You don't need Boseiju in this matchup because most lists don't play Permanent Hate. I'm going to board out the Vault of Whispers. I'd rather have the Detection Tower than Vault of Whispers. I just feel like the Vault isn't very good. In fact, I think I'd be happier with the deck if it had 1 less land in it. Yikes, this is a real clunker. Our opponent has kept 7. Am I really supposed to mulligan this? It doesn't feel good. I think I have to. This is the best hand we've seen. So my plan here is turn 1 Thoughtseize and do turn 2 the One Ring and try to claw back that way. So we will Thoughtseize. Maybe I should have kept the fetch instead of the Trop. That might have been better. And they opened up on double force Thoughtseize. That's so brutal. Take their Thoughtseize. Dan plays a Misty Rainforest. We draw another Infernal Tutor. Punished by my decision. If I knew that I was going to draw another Infernal Tutor, it would have been better to take one of the forces. I'm going to just pass her now. So I am choosing to not play my Tropical Island because our opponent has a Carpet of Flowers. And it looks like they're going to cast an Up the Beanstalk. You've got it. Polluted Delta. We will play that and pass. Brainstorm. No land drop. And then a second main phase Ponder. Shuffles. Okay. Another copy of Lion's Eye Diamond. I'm just going to sit tight. Cycles a copy of Lorien Revealed. I wonder if Dan even has the Carpet anymore, or if it was shuffled back on the Brainstorm. 3rd Infernal Tutor. Ay. Not good. Orcish Bowmasters welcomes itself to the party. We will take 2, falling down to 15. Another land. We will pass. Sauron's Ransom. So I'm going to try to bait them here, and I'm going to offer them these 2. Because I actually would prefer if they had these, I think. Maybe I don't want them to have Murktide. I don't know. I'm just going to offer these. I think that those are fine piles. Wasteland. I'm not feeling too confident right now. They discard an Up the Beanstalk. I mean, we drew Brainstorm, but am I really going to Brainstorm into Orcish Bowmasters? They play a Polluted Delta. We will take 2. They go to 11. They play Murktide Regent. I should have Brainstormed right there. because I couldn't get hit by another Bowmaster. Misplay. Yep, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Alright, end step, we will brainstorm. I don't know if another Bowmasters really matters, because like I'm putting myself dead on board anyway. And these were not good. We'll put back the extra Infernal Tutors. I can't imagine we win this game, but we'll see what our draw step is. Fetch. Okay. Beseech the Mirror. We don't have mana for all this. Grab another Underground Sea. Play Carpet of Flowers. Spell Pierce. We know that they still have double fours. I mean, I'm just dead. Alright, we got annihilated here. I am now 2-2 with one match left to go. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The final match, we're on the draw. I believe that this hand is a mulligan. Like, Tendrils isn't really an action spell. Who knows if Veil of Summer is even good? Leagues right now are a lot of prison, so I feel like for the first time in ages, you should expect non-blue over blue. I'm going to send it back. Nope. Yes. Infernal Tutor goes back, so does Thoughtseize. This is a turn 1, the One Ring. And if we draw an artifact, it could be a turn 1 win. Misty Rainforest. Instead, we draw Tropical. I'm just going to pass the turn. Basic Island, okay. Tropical Island, up the Beanstalk. Regret putting that Thoughtseize on the bottom of my deck now, but maybe we'll get revenge for last match. Another land. Pass. They play a third land and send it back. We'll do the same. So I'd like to point out that, like, Infernal Tutor requiring you to go all in is such a feel-bad. Like, if this was a Burning Wish, on our second turn, we could have just put Burning Wish on the stack and went and got Galvanic Relay. And instead, we're in this weird position where it's like, I don't want to go all in. My opponent could have a force. Where, like, Burning Wish never forces you to go all the way in. And this is the second time this league we're facing the Bug Up the Beanstalk deck, where we don't have Galvanic Relay to crush them. One of the nice aspects about Galvanic Relay is that it's uncounterable. And the One Ring is not. Although I have been impressed by the One Ring in this league. I actually think that the One Ring is one of the few bright spots of playing these strategies. But not having red is just such a detriment. And one thing that these decks have always prided themselves on is like, oh, well, I have this great mana base. Meanwhile, see this card in play? Do you see it? Vault of Whispers. Great mana base. And I just think you should be playing red. Burning Wish is your friend. Come on. And our opponent's setting up, and we're just over here like schlubs drawing dead card after dead card. Pass the turn. They play a Ponder. Another land. And we draw another land. Pass. If you can't tell, I'm a little agitated right now. I feel like this deck doesn't like me very much, and I'm not liking it. This looks like our opponent's about to play a Murktide Regent. They still have 3 untapped mana. We drew another Infernal Tutor. We're going to have to pass here. A second copy of Up the Beanstalk. And another Wasteland. We get hit for 5. We'll fall to 15. Brainstorm? What? A card that might actually help us. I can't believe it. We're going to pass, though, for now. I don't want to play into an Orcish Bowmasters. They cast a Ponder. And they did not shuffle. Witherbloom Command. They're going to return their Wasteland. So they're going to mill me. I'm going to Brainstorm in response. Would you like to Orcish Bowmasters? They do. Our opponent is now tapped out. Brainstorm. Put back an Infernal Tutor and an extra Cabal Ritual. They milled Daze Force of Will. Oh, I didn't think this out. Keeping double Brainstorm. For some reason, I thought that I was going to get to resolve both, but that's not the case. That's actually really awkward. Did I just punt? Alright, we'll go to 2. Thoughtseize is not a live draw. It has to be a Veil of Summer? That's really unfortunate. Yeah, I messed up here. So, I can theoretically try to draw into Veil of Summer and have it resolve, We're not technically dead yet. Let's attempt a Dark Ritual, see if they'll force that. I mean, they probably won't, but... Okay, Brainstorm. Our only chance. None of those were a Veil of Summer. So these 3 triggers are on the stack. And now I'm going to try to Brainstorm into double Veil of Summer. We'll grab Bayou. And I say double because I have to assume our opponent has at least 1 Force of Will. We found 1 Veil of Summer. And with those triggers on the stack, I will cast a Cabal Ritual. Veil of Summer. And our opponent forces. Surprise, surprise. Okay, so we lost game number 1. I mean, we didn't do anything for most of the game, and our opponent got to take like 8 turns to set up. Bring the Detection Tower back. Bring in the carpets. And I think we want the... I think you want Flusters? I don't really know. Take out Cabal Ritual. Take out Chromox. Submit. Game number 2, we're on the play. Nope. This seems fine enough. Bottom a second copy of Misty Rainforest. I think I'm going to get the basic swamp off the Polluted Delta. Cast this Thoughtseize. Take the Witherbloom command. Misty Rainforest. They grab an Underground Sea and play the Nile Spellbomb. That's fine. Lion's Eye Diamond was good. I don't think they're going to force a Willow Carpet of Flowers, but I've been wrong before in my life. We'll play the Carpet. Really? Force pitching Force. Okay. They cycle a Lorien Revealed, so they have Surgical Extraction and 1 other unknown card. If I draw a land here, I might just put the One Ring into play. I'll take a Brainstorm. We'll cast that. This does not get the job done. I mean, I could One Ring next turn, but it would be unprotected. Play out the Lotus Petal, and then we'll pass. They have a 3rd land. Let's try Brainstorm again. We'll put back the Underground Sea. The question is, like, do you Infernal Tutor or Beseech? I think it's Infernal Tutor. We will shuffle. Ponder's decent. We'll play that. Suppose we'll take the land. I could have just kept the land instead of putting it back last turn as well. Veil of Summer. They activate the Nile Spellbomb. They want to draw a card here. Veil of Summer back on the stack. Lion's Eye Diamond. Infernal Tutor. I could empty the Warrens here as well. But our opponent is playing a deck that is known for playing Stifle. So your mileage may vary. I think I'm going to grab the ring. And then I'm just going to activate it now. Our opponent has a 5th land, so they have Mystic Sanctuary online. They could get back that Force of Will at any moment. Thoughtseize. I'm going to just pass here. You could play Thoughtseize right now. I feel like you don't need to do that, so we'll just sip tight. There's the Mystic Sanctuary. And they're choosing to get back Lorien Revealed. The disrespect. And they have successfully cast a Lorien Revealed. Up to 5 cards in hand. We'll lose 2 life to the One Ring. Draw for turn. Activate the One Ring. Thoughtseize you. Maybe I was supposed to play out the Detection Tower in case they Veil of Summer. That might have been better. They activate their Polluted Delta. No Veil of Summer. Whew. Got away with 1. Surgical Extraction on Lotus Petal. I've never been burned so badly in my life. Thoughtseize. Force of Vigor, Orcish Bowmasters, double Wasteland. We'll take the Bowmasters. And they're just super dead here. Ponder. The worst thing that could happen, I guess... No, it doesn't matter. Even if I drew the Gaia's Will off the shuffle, we just have natural Tendrils. Dark Ritual. Play the Tower because I can. Lion's Eye Diamond. Lion's Eye Diamond. Beseech the Mirror with Bargain, sacrificing the One Ring. We'll grab Gaia's Will. Cast it. I mean, this could have just been a Tendrils, but I'm here to party. And now Infernal Tutor. We have to get to Storm 10, right? Like it's Tendrils of Agony. Alright, one more game. Game number 3, the final game of this league. Resubmitting the same configuration. Another thing that irks me a little bit about the Beseech Storm players always like to claim that they have a better mana base because they have a basic island and a basic swamp. The thing is, when you look at the Epic Storm's matchup spread, decks with Wasteland, it's Delver variants, Beanstalk decks, lands and like Death and Taxes is like the big wasteland decks in the format. The Epic Storm is literally favored in every single matchup I just described. So it doesn't really make sense to me that they're like, oh, well, the Epic Storm is weak to Wasteland. Is it? I suppose you don't have basic lands, but that doesn't mean that you're not weak to Wasteland. Like, every single matchup I just described is positive. Since the printing of Beseech the Mirror, I am literally 9-1 versus Grixis Delver. And I'm something like 17-4 versus the Rug or Teamer variation of the deck. I'm going to lead on a Thoughtseize. They do play Daze, but this seems like a good opportunity for me. We'll take their Bowmasters. On turn 2, I want to Brainstorm plus Carpet of Flowers. They play their land, and they main phase their Brainstorm. They activate the Misty Rainforest for a Tropical Island, and Ponder. They did not shuffle. We found another Brainstorm, we'll cast it. Not bad. Let's get rid of the Brainstorm. We don't really need any more at this point. And then let's pick up a Bayou. Carpet of Flowers. They force a negation, exiling Murktide Regent. Wow. Your deck with Witherbloom Command and Force of Vigor, and you're just out here counter-spelling Carpet of Flowers. You have a Beanstalk. Wasteland hurts here. They have 2 cards left in their hand. I think you're supposed to disrespect and just put the One Ring on the stack. Okay. It resolves. Draw card. Thoughtseize you. Take their other Beanstalk. Pass the turn. They play the Polluted Delta. We lose 1 life from the One Ring. Another ring. Let's draw 2. Another Thoughtseize. I think I'm going to sit tight. I don't need to play that here. Oh no, I hit F6. That was foolish. That was really silly of me. Yep, I'm sure I'm going to get a comment like, you know, you could have played Veil of Summer there. Yeah, I could have if I wasn't an idiot. I would agree. So we drew 3 cards. Thankfully, we drew another Infernal Tutor. We don't have a Lion's Eye Diamond, though. And our opponent has no hand right now. Which means that if we could find a Lion's Eye Diamond, I believe we have a win. Play the Ponder. Nope. We will shuffle. If I find a Lion's Eye Diamond, we still have a win? Ponder. Nope. We will shuffle. Pass the turn. So if they wanted to, they could fetch twice and put a Force of Negation on top of their deck. I don't know if they have a better draw, maybe like a Collector Oof. I don't know why I would say that out loud, but here we are. Brainstorm. And our opponent is passing. We will lose 3 life, falling down to 8. Activate the One Ring to draw 4. We found our empty. I mean, this should win the game, right? We can Dark Ritual Beseech the Mirror for Gaea's Will. We have backup as well. Dark Ritual. I'm wondering if I should leave the Tropical untapped. I think it's actually best to leave the Bayou. So we will Beseech the Mirror, sacrificing the One Ring. We will grab Gaea's Will. Put Gaea's Will on the stack. They fetch. They do not grab a Mystic Sanctuary. They Sauron's Ransom. Okay, this does not matter. Thank you for increasing my storm count. We will cast a Dark Ritual. And our opponent concedes, so we did get revenge on the Bug Beanstalk deck. And the One Ring was very good. I mean, I said that I liked the One Ring. The thing is, I don't think being Sultai is any better than being 4-color. Like, you're playing a Vault of Whispers. Like, are you really that afraid of a Taiga? I just don't understand. So, the One Ring looked pretty good. Vault of Whispers, I don't think is a card you should be playing in your deck. I thought the sideboard was mostly fine. We used most of it. We didn't really face any Grafdigger's Cage matchups, but I thought the sideboard was well constructed. I just think that, I mean, I'm obviously biased. I'm the guy that loves Burning Wish and Galvanic Relay, but I do find that those cards, I mean, I've played a lot of Infernal Tutor decks recently here on the channel. None of these decks feel as good as playing Burning Wish and Galvanic Relay, and that's just kind of my point. So, Tyler, I appreciate you. We chat all the time. I consider you a friend at this point. Learn how to cast Burning Wish already. Come on. All right, everyone else, thank you for watching. Really, thank you. And I hope you have a great day. Keep storming. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. After you do that, open up our description where you can find all of our social media networks, including our Discord, where you can discuss today's deck in that Discord with me and tons of other combo masterminds. It's absolutely free to join, and it's certainly worth your while.